So today I wanted to give just a couple tips that have been helpful for me when anxiety and when stress come up and dealing with them. And I know it's easy to talk about these types of tips in this type of setting here. This is kind of practice, but then when it's game time, when the anxiety and stress actually pop up, it's a lot harder to actually implement these. But I just think the more time you put into preparing for them and studying them and learning them, the better prepared you are when life throws crap your way. And the first one is to just recognize it and label it when it pops up. So, a lot of times something happens outside us, we experience a feeling or an emotion and we just kind of react right away. But how often do we actually pause to think about, okay, what am I feeling? So when that stress and anxiety comes up, when, you might start to shake a little bit, your heart rate quickens, you just get kind of amped, you feel it in your stomach, you feel it in your heart. We just start reacting to it. But if you sort of pause and be like, oh, I noticed this. Something's going on. What is this? What am I feeling? Be like, oh, this feels like anxiety. Oh, this feels like worry. This feels like stress. And by doing that, you've kind of created a little space between yourself and the feeling, which just kind of takes you out of it. When you're when you're freaking out, you're just in your head, like, oh my gosh, what's happening? But if you recognize it, you label it, you've created some space between the two of you, so you're better able to handle it. And I think if you just realize that a lot of times anxiety, when we feel it, it causes us to spiral into a worst case scenario. You catastrophize the future. What's going to happen? But the thing is, it's like that awful future doesn't exist. It has not happened yet. So don't assume that's what's going to happen. Instead, what if the best case, what if this turns out for the best? It could go this awful worst case scenario. It could go this best case scenario. I don't know. So why assume the worst? I'm not saying ignore the worst, but I'm just saying you can allow for both at the same time. So I think recognizing it and recognizing the feeling and just thinking about that it could turn out great just as much as it could turn out poorly can help you deal with it. So I hope this is helpful.